Hello, my juniors. Welcome to another biochemical lecture series. It's a great science tutor, Lorenzo, and today we'll be talking about the differences between fatty acid synthesis and beta oxidation. So go check my video. I've done the fatty acid synthesis and I've done the beta oxidation. Different. I've done the beta oxidation of all chain, beta oxidation of long chain, beta oxidation of medium chain, beta oxidation of very long chain. I've done alpha oxidation. I've done omega oxidation. Go watch it, understand it. Are you getting me now? So but here I want to talk about the differences, and that is, we want to compare them, both the differences basically, but also add the similarities between them. So if you are new to my channel, make sure to subscribe and turn on your post notification button, so at any time I drop any video, you'll be sure to be notified. So if you want me to make a video for you, drop it down in the comment section. I promise I'll make the video for you, solely for you. So let's jump right into the video. So fatty acid synthesis, if you are to introduce them, fatty acid synthesis and beta oxidation are two opposing metabolic pathways involved in lipid metabolism. So they are very, very important, because in beta oxidation, you are breaking down fatty acid for energy. Are you getting me? You are breaking down fatty acid for energy. But in fatty acid synthesis, we want to form fatty acid. So during fed state, when you eat, as the body is breaking down to form what? ATP. The body is storing also to form glycogen during glycogenesis. The body also is forming cholesterol in the same process too, and the body also is forming fatty acid in the same process. So in fatty acid synthesis is an anabolic process where you use citrates basically to form what? Fatty acid. Are you getting that? Through the citrate shuttle. But now in beta oxidation, it's a catabolic process, because beta oxidation helps in the breaking down of of fatty acid to form what? ATP. So the first one here, you want to know, it is an anabolic process, fatty acid synthesis, where we form fatty acid, while the other one is a catabolic process. Are you getting that? So checking now, when you are doing fatty acid synthesis versus beta oxidation, in fatty acid synthesis, you are taking what? Acetyl-CoA to form fatty acid to citrate. And here beta oxidation, what happens now? You are first of all, you are acetylating fatty acid by joining fatty acid plus acetyl-CoA to form fatty acid-CoA. Then later you are now what? Removing acetyl-CoA from fatty acid-CoA. Simple. Condense fatty acid with fatty acid-CoA. When you condense them, you transport them, you oxidize, hydrate, you oxidize, and you what? Cleave. When you cleave, then the last one, you want to get what? Acetyl-CoA to 7 cycles. So go watch my video on beta oxidation, you get it very well. So to look at the differences between them, what will be in your mind? First of all, nature of the pathway. Remember I said fatty acid synthesis is an anabolic pathway, because the goal is to produce something, and the goal is to produce what? Fatty acid synthesis. So it's an anabolic pathway. Why beta oxidation is a catabolic pathway? Because we are breaking down fatty acid that was broken down from TAG through lipolysis. So that fatty acid is transported by albumin to the muscle cell, where we break them down to what? To form ATP. So the next one is the function. Remember, fatty acid synthesis is involved in the formation of fatty acid, while for the function, beta oxidation is the degeneration or the degradation of fatty acid to form ATP. Site, where does it occur? Fatty acid synthesis occurs in the cytosol. Are you getting me now? While beta oxidation occurs in the cytosol, where there's activation. So there's activation first of all in the cytosol to form fatty acid to form fatty acid-CoA. Then fatty acid-CoA is transported by carnitine to the mitochondria. So beta oxidation primarily occur in the mitochondria, but also some part, the activation step, occur in the cytosol. But everything on fatty acid synthesis occurs in the cytosol. Tissue predominance now. Where does it occur specifically? Fatty acid synthesis occurs in the liver, adipose tissue, lactating mammary gland, because all these people need fat. The mammary gland needs fat in the stroma part. The adipose tissue is where we store fat, while the liver too needs fat. I get it now. But where does beta oxidation occur? It occurs in the liver, it occurs in the skeletal muscle, it occurs in the heart. Why? Because these places need energy primarily. So it occurs in the high energy obtaining part, where they need ATP basically. Get it down. So what is the starting substrate here? The starting substrate for fatty acid synthesis is acetyl-CoA, because acetyl-CoA, are you getting now, is carboxylated to form malonyl-CoA. So when you add CO2 to acetyl-CoA, you get malonyl-CoA by acetyl-CoA carboxylase, which is needed as a starting substrate. But here, the starting substrate for beta oxidation is fatty acid-CoA. So what is fatty acid-CoA? First of all, fatty acid is what condensed with acetic CoA to form what fatty acyl CoA by fatty acyl CoA synthesis. So the starting substrate there is fatty acyl CoA, while the starting substrate here is acetyl CoA. Carrier molecule. So what is the carrier molecule? Is fatty acid synthesis. It's ACP, which is acyl carrier protein. Acyl carrier protein. Acyl carrier protein is a part in the fatty acid synthase complex. The fatty acid synthase complex is a big dimeric enzyme which has a cysteine component and an ACP component. That ACP component is where our acetic CoA and malonyl CoA are added. You get it now? So it has an ACP component which are branches and parts of the fatty acid synthase complex enzyme. So it has the carrier protein here is what acyl carrier protein. Why the carrier protein there for beta oxidation is what coenzyme A. So coenzyme A is the carrier protein for beta oxidation, while ACP is the carrier protein for fatty acid synthesis. So now, what is the reducing equivalent you are forming for fatty acid synthesis? You are forming what? NADPH. So NADPH is a product of what? HMP shunt. I get it now. HMP shunt is a pathway where you form NADPH and you form what? Ribose sugar and ribulose sugar. That is HMP shunt. So the goal here for fatty acid synthesis is to form what? NADPH, is to utilize rather NADPH. That is the reducing coefficient there. But here the reducing equivalent here for beta oxidation is what? You get FAD plus, you utilize FAD plus to get FADH by reduction. You also utilize NAD plus to get NADH2 by reduction too. But in that other one, you are oxidizing. Are you getting now? You are reducing directly, and which means you are utilizing NADPH there. But for this one now, you are not. You are what? You are oxidizing in order to reduce. You get it now? So just know that the reducing coefficient here in fatty acid synthesis is NADPH, while the reducing coefficient there is NADP, is NAD plus and FAD plus. End product. So what is the end product of fatty acid synthase? The goal of fatty acid synthase at the end is to produce what? Palmitic acid, or you call palmitate, which is a cysteine carbon fatty acid. A cysteine carbon fatty acid. That is the end product. So when you use acetic CoA to malonyl CoA, acetic CoA is added to ACP, malonyl CoA is added to ACP. They condense to form acetic CoA. Then you now condense. After condensing, you reduce, dehydrate, you reduce to form butyl. You now do the reaction for 7 times. Are you getting now? You will be getting palmitic acid. So why am I saying like this? Please just go to my video and watch on fatty acid synthesis. It's more better for you. This is just a summary. You see how I'm flowing like this because it's quite simple. So look at the write-up and listen to my explanation. Look at the write-up and listen to my explanation. So the end product of fatty acid synthesis is palmitate, because we want to form palmitic acid. So palmitic acid is a saturated fatty acid, which is cysteine carbon. Long chain fatty acid is cysteine carbon. Now the goal of beta oxidation is to form acetic CoA. How many moles of acetic CoA? 8 moles of acetic CoA. So per 1 cycle you form 1 acetic CoA. Now when you do 7 cycles, you'll be forming 8 acetyl CoA. So how many carbon units here is added and removed? 2 carbon unit is added for fatty acid synthesis. 2 carbon unit is added. Are you getting now? Why in beta oxidation you are removing? So what are you doing? You are doing both of them for 7 cycles. So fatty acid synthesis 7 cycles to form palmitic acid. Why beta oxidation you are also doing 7 cycles to break down palmitic acid. So you are forming palmitic acid for fatty acid synthesis. You are breaking down palmitic acid for beta oxidation. So what do you do for fatty acid synthesis? You are adding 2 carbon there. Why for beta oxidation you are removing 2 carbon there as acetic CoA. Which enzyme? What is the rate limiting enzyme for fatty acid synthesis? Acetic CoA carboxylase. Acetic CoA carboxylase is a rate limiting enzyme whereby acetic CoA is what carboxylated using biotin. I get them now to form what? Malonyl CoA, which is a 3 carbon molecule. So what is the rate limiting enzyme here? Is carnitine transporters. So especially we have what? CAT1. What is CAT1? You can call it CAT1 or CPT1. CAT1 is carnitine acyltransferase, or you can call it carnitine palmitoyltransferase 1. So it's a rate limiting enzyme in beta oxidation. So what now? Carnitine acyltransferase can be inhibited by malonyl CoA. Again, which is CAT1 can be inhibited by malonyl CoA. I get him now. So very, very important. Enzyme energy requirement now. Fatty acid synthesis need ATP. It requires ATP. Very, very important. Because when you want to condense acetyl-CoA and malonyl-CoA at ACP, you need ATP there. Acetyl-CoA and malonyl-CoA is condensed at the acid carrier protein, needing ATP there by decarboxylation. But here you don't need ATP. You are producing ATP, so you don't need ATP. But to drive to form fatty acid, you need to utilize ATP. Insulin, because when you eat food, what happens when you take carbohydrate is redistributed to the tissues where it form acetyl-CoA to make ATP by glycolysis and TCA, and from there it's used in various reactions. But here it's used in fatty acid synthesis. Why? Because you need to use that glucose to form fat. But here insulin is inhibit beta oxidation, because here we are breaking down. Are you getting me? We are breaking down, and when time we break down, we need glucagon. We don't need insulin. So what is the effect on glucagon? Glucagon inhibits fatty acid synthesis, because in glucagon helps in breaking down, not in formation. Fatty acid synthesis you are forming, you are not breaking down. You get it now? That's how it works. Malonyl-CoA effect. What does malonyl-CoA do? Malonyl-CoA helps to even promote fatty acid synthesis to continue the reaction. But in beta oxidation, malonyl-CoA does what? Inhibit. Are you getting now? Malonyl-CoA inhibits beta oxidation. Why? Because malonyl-CoA inhibit carnitine transporters. So when you have malonyl-CoA, you are inhibiting carnitine. Are you getting now? But in the in fed state, what happens when you increase malonyl-CoA? Malonyl-CoA even helps in the to move the reaction in condensation in order to form what? Palmitate. So what is the physiological state here? During first state, what happens? You need to produce glucose, and glucose is used to drive for the formation of acetyl-CoA, which is needed for fatty acid synthesis. But when you eat, your body already is forming fatty acid, so your body cannot break down fatty acid. It's only when you have not eaten, the body now moves in the breaking down of fatty acid to form glucose for you. So we have talked about the differences between them. So what is the similarities between them? One, first of all, both of them are used in lipid metabolism. Goody. Both of them, one is used in the formation of fatty acid, which is a lipid component, while the other one is used in the breaking down of fatty acid, which is also a lipid component. Both involve acetyl-CoA. Both involve acetyl-CoA, because beta oxidation form acetyl-CoA, while fatty acid synthesis utilize acetyl-CoA. Both are enzyme catalyzed reaction. Yes, because both of them need rate limiting enzyme like carnitine transport, and the other one use acetyl-CoA carboxylase. Both are tightly regulated, because if they are not tightly regulated, if the fatty acid synthesis is not regulated, what happens? There will be formation of fatty liver, because the fatty acid will be high in the body, and if fatty acid is high in the body, the liver will start swelling. That's called fatty liver. Also, if the regulation of beta oxidation is not done, excess beta oxidation will lead to ketosis, because your body will start forming ketone bodies, and high amount of ketone bodies is not also good. Both are important in energy homeostasis. Remember, fatty acid synthesis utilize ATP to form fatty acid, because that fatty acid will be needed later. But now, what the beta oxidation? Beta oxidation now break down that fatty acid when I've not eaten to form what? ATP. So I hope it all makes sense to you, and you have understood everything I've talked about. Are you getting me now? You understand me? You understand what I've been saying since? Hope you understand. Hope you continue to like, just subscribe to my video. Very, very important. I love you all. Just share it to everybody. Let them listen to it and understand the concept, how I'm explaining it. You get that? So I'll be seeing my next video. Bye bye.